And what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes. And I know what you might be thinking. You're on the dev blog again? Yes, I am. But something interesting occurred to me. So, the MyTeam base set has been expanded. Interesting. I'm not going to really go into how we don't have bronze and silver player cards anymore, because I think it is probably just a reason for 2K to increase the amount it costs for you to play games to kind of offset the card grading. That's my thought on it anyway. So I'm not going to go into that too much because everything is a gold tier or higher at this point. But now some of the keen-eyed members of the community, me, are probably wondering about some of the players you're seeing labeled as MyTeam base sets. These aren't fake player cards for this courtside report. These current and historical players will make up, well, the base set of MyTeam to start the year. So, very interesting. So they're kind of going back to their basics here, right? Because if you remember in the old 2Ks, I believe maybe, I can't remember when they stopped doing it. For sure it wasn't in 2K20. I cannot remember if historic players were in 2K19. They were in 2K18 for sure. But they used to, in addition to having the base set current series players, they also used to have a base set of historical players as well. Usually they were the guys on the, all-time teams or the historic teams when you were playing those versions of Domination. Not incredibly important. I don't remember many of them being really that great. The thing was, though, it just gave you so many more options, and as you played through Domination, instead of getting like jerseys and stuff like we've been getting for the last 2 years, once you got past that first Domination, obviously you got the reward card after, you would also get like a historical pack. When you're playing the like historical Domination, then you get like an all-time pack playing the all-time one or whatever it was called at the time. And I'll be honest, most of them didn't really hit, but it did give you like a wider range of players and more players to play with. So we're seeing they talk about like Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, and even Yao Ming. And as you can see here, I mean, we got Yao Ming, gold, Danny Ferry, gold. We got a Jazz Gordon Hayward, so he's like a historical player. We got a Pelicans DeMarcus Cousins. He's like a historical player right there. We got a Kobe Bryant. John Morant's fine. I think Marc Gasol Grizzlies. So he is actually a historical player as well. And then we got like Daryl Griffith and Scottie Pippen. And a Clippers Chris Paul. So they're really leaning into this. And the reason I'm even making this video in the first place is let's talk about some cards that we'd really like to see in MyTeam. There's a bunch of guys that I really would like to see in MyTeam that we've seen in the past. So first things first, let's go over and check out this in-depth list that a website put together prior to 2K21 about cards we didn't see in 2K20 that we wanted to see. And we'll kind of go through that in depth because I think there's a lot of good cards in there, personally. So right off the bat, I didn't realize it was Forbes that did this list. And they have like 4,000 ads on the screen at any given time, just encouraging me to subscribe, which I will never do because I am not that washed up yet. Yes, I might be old and dusty, but I am not old and dusty to the point where I need to subscribe to Forbes magazine. Also, I'm poor, and I don't think Forbes is the right place for me personally. I don't want to watch other people be rich. So, right off the bat, Charles Barkley. Obviously, everyone would like to see him in 2K, and I think 2K did do a little damage control by basically making Richard Dumas Charles Barkley clone, and I think because they did that, I don't think we see Charles Barkley this year. That's my personal opinion on it. I believe we did see him in MyTeam in, was it 2K17 or 2K18? I can't remember. I'm going to go back on 2KMT Central at the end of this video and kind of look through all the old historical players to get a general idea of what we're dealing with. But he was in at least one MyTeam experience. He was a pink diamond. It'd be cool to see him again, but honestly, we have Richard Dumas. 2K is not really going to go out of their way to get Charles Barkley if they don't have to. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. But the deal was brokered by Jay-Z when he did do it, so I don't know. Reggie Miller we'll never see in 2K. We will never see him in 2K. That is just a fact. Reggie Miller is... Look, it's really tough because it's like I'm trying to decide who I would like to support in this beef between Reggie Miller and 2K. Between two groups of people or singular people that I just absolutely hate. I hate Reggie Miller. I despise him, right? But on the other hand, I also despise 2K in a certain aspects, so it's tough. I can't tell if 2K is lowballing Reggie Miller or Reggie Miller just thinks too highly of himself. I'm not sure, but we'll never see him in there. There's a beef between two sides, and we'll never actually see Reggie Miller in 2K. It'd be nice if we did, because I think he'd be an incredibly good card, but I don't see it happening. Manu, obviously, we've seen. Rasheed Wallace is another guy I don't think we'll see. But I'm guessing it's similar to Miller, where he just wants money and 2K's like, no. And he's like, okay. Tayshaun Prince is another interesting one, and I think this is a card we will actually see this year. Just because, using the 0304 Pistons is just not fun, because we don't have Rasheed Wallace and we don't have Tayshaun Prince. Now, why 2K hasn't done the All-Star Baseball thing and just made like another random player like Darvin Ham or something on that team into Rasheed Wallace, I'm not entirely sure. It's the same stats and badges and everything that he would have. Because that's what like All-Star Baseball and old sports games from the past would do when they couldn't get a player likeness. They would just make either a random player or just turn another player on the team like superpowered so it can make up for it. Shout out to Wes Mailman. Prince has been in the game a bunch of times, so I'm guessing 2K just actively hasn't tried to put him in the game. It'd be nice to see him in there, though, because he's a big wing defender, and those are always good in 2K. And in relation to my team, like, usually cards with the same player build as Tayshaun Prince, they make them typically kind of overpowered, so it'd be nice to see. Oh, yes. True Warrior, a.k.a. Ron Artest, a.k.a. Meta World Peace. We haven't seen him since, I believe, 2K18. He might have been in 19, too. I just can't remember. Ron Artest needs to be in the game, especially with 2K's overt focus on defensive play this year. I feel like there's no possible way we don't see Ron Artest this year. And if what they're saying is true and defense is as important as it is, early Ron Artest cards could be god tier. It just kind of depends, you know what I mean? Hal Greer we got. Alvin Robertson I don't think we'll ever see due to his off the court issues, which by the way were not his fault at all. And he was exonerated, but just because of that fact that he even had them in the first place, I don't think we see him in 2K, which is a shame. And I'll be honest, a lot of these guys, I don't know who they are. I do know Zelmo Beatty. He's like a power forward, small forward, and pretty high up on the points scored list. I think he played for Atlanta in like the 60s. He's like 6'8". He'd be really similar to like Sidney Wicks or any of those guys. Ed McCauley is about as white as you could possibly think. Chet Walker too, I think he's like a small little point guard. I think he also played for Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. Or he might have played for the Bulls. I can't remember. I think he played for the Bulls, actually. Guys like Kirk Heinrich, Mo Williams, we've seen Byron Beck, Ralph Simpson. That's not Ralph Sampson, so that's a different guy. I don't know who that is. A lot of these guys, I don't know who they are. Paul Arizin, nice. Guy Rogers, just some of these names, they just scream triple threat. You know what I mean? Or reward card in some fashion. I would like to see a better Freddie Lewis, though. That'd be cool. Andrew Bynum is another one I wanted to talk about. Andrew Bynum would be incredibly good for 2K. Look, I don't think Andrew Bynum would be the best card in the game. I really don't. I don't even think he'd be like a really good card in this game. But it's important to understand like how good Andrew Bynum was in his prime. And I think a lot of the way we can do that as like newer generation people would be to actually play with him in 2K. You know what I mean? Obviously, number 43, Stromile Swift. Yeah, of course. I don't know who Vern Mickelson is. I will Google him after this. Let's just go Google Vern. Yeah, we got Zelmo Beatty right here. Who's Vern Mickelson? Yeah, what's up? What's up with Vern? What's up, my man here? Oh, this guy can hoop. Oh, he was on the Mikan squad. Oh, look at this man. Can he dunk? Oh, yeah, he's sick. Okay. Oh, yeah, he's tight. What about Ed McCauley? I don't know about him, but I know he's white. There's just no possible way he's not. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, you absolutely know 100% that this man can hoop. There's no question about it. This guy can hoop. Wow, look at this man. You know he'd be sick in TTO. That's just facts. Sorry, I had to look those two guys up real quick. All right, so, all those guys would be fun. Stromile Swift is obviously the guy that I wanted to talk about specifically, though. Mid-2000s combo forward, great dunker in his prime. Overall, a really good player. He just had some off-the-court issues. Stromile Swift would fit in well with, like, the Anton Jameson, Lamar Odom, Danny Manning type of player. And as we've known from 2K past, those type of players, those combo forwards, There's a reason I hype them so hard. They're always really, really good in 2K in some fashion, and I think Stromile Swift would fit right into that. That's my personal opinion. The only one that doesn't seem to ever give any love is Sharif Abdur-Rahim, who, let's be honest, is a very similar player to Stromile Swift, so we could easily take Stromile Swift and put him in that kind of category as like the subpar versions of those guys. I'm hoping they don't do that. OJ Mayo would be sick. It's been a couple years since we've seen OJ Mayo. I don't necessarily think he'll be tight, but Michael Beasley is another guy that we didn't see this year, and I would really enjoy seeing him. That's just kind of how I feel about it. Nikola Petkovic. He won't be very good, but I'd like to see him. Same with Jamal McGlure. Neither of these guys would be very good, but it'd be cool to see him. Let's see. What other names we got? Nick Collison. First off, 63rd. Come on. Relax. He's not good, I promise. Yeah, no. We got our Matt Bonder. Malik Rose would be cool. He's not very good either, but he'd be fun to play with. Mehmet Okur at 79, the audacity. Now, I've been asking for a Mehmet Okur card in 2K for a long time now. And to my knowledge, we've never gotten one. I believe he might have had like a bronze or something in like 2K13, 2K14 when he was still technically speaking in the league, but that was kind of when he was falling out. I would love a Mehmet Okur card, and if they introduced him early enough, he could easily be one of the best centers or one of the best budget centers in the game with his ability to stretch the floor and shoot, and his big body. A good example would be like shooting Simbular. It's not exactly going to be the same as Mehmet Okur, but I think Rafe LaFrance is actually like a pretty good parallel to Mehmet Okur. Mehmet Okur is a little bit bigger and a little bit better of an interior defender, and then he's just as good of a shooter. If they give him the right jump shot, Mehmet Okur could be incredible, and I would love to see that. Harold Miner, a.k.a. Baby Jordan. I would love to see Harold Miner. Walt Bellamy as well. I would love to see him too. Both those guys would be great. I don't know about Dolph Shays, but I would enjoy seeing him quite a bit. So, I don't know. Let's go over to 2K MT Central and kind of look at the old historic cards and see what we can have in store, essentially. All right, so we're over on 2K MTDB. I'm sorry, it wasn't MT Central. I prefer this one. It's a little bit easier to operate. But let's go back to like 2K70, right? Let's go back to 2K17. I think I said 70, but it doesn't really matter. And we'll look at the themes here. So let's go and look at the historic players, right? Kind of see what we're getting ourselves into. Dude, these ads are unfortunate. All right, so Jamal Mashburn, let's just click him first. Not really an overpowered. Can you get these ads out of here, dude? Not really an overpowered card by any means. I don't know why exactly he was the 89 overall one, but either way, you can kind of get a general sense of what we're looking at here. Just pretty normal overall, okay, you know, at this point, rubies. We got like Heat Shaq, Scottie Pippen, Sam Jones. None of these cards are incredibly good, but what they are is just other cards that you're able to use. And a lot of these are good names, like names that we've come to be very familiar with in 2K, you know, like I guess not Daryl Dawkins, but like Richard Jefferson, Pau Gasol, guys like that. Xavier McDaniels, Sean Kemp, Mitch Richmond, Bernard King, who never got loved this year for some reason. I don't understand what that was all about. I'm really hoping we see more updated cards in regards to Bernard King, because I feel like he kind of deserves it. Isaiah Ryder, yeah. But you even got guys like Caron Butler, Tom Chambers, Dan Thunder Marley, Jeff Hornacek, neither of which got an updated card this year, which is kind of unfortunate now that I think about it. Like Kendall Gill never got one. And chances are a lot of these guys won't get updated cards towards the end of the year, especially if people don't like them and don't use them off the rip. So it really depends on what 2K is going to do here. But as you can see, like, look at the amount of variety that we have. Like, who's Scott Wedman? I don't know, but I'd use him just because, you know. This is kind of what 2K is going to bring into the game. I think we don't see a lot of them become or be ruby cards when they come out. I think a lot of them will be sapphire or below. There'll be some rubies. There'll probably be an amethyst or two, maybe even a diamond or a pink. Nah, probably not a pink diamond, but probably a diamond. One or two, maybe like MJ or Magic or somebody will be like a diamond historic player. But like Rudy LaRusso, you know, look at the names that we got going on here. I actually remember using this Monte card a lot. I'm a big Monte fan. Are you guys really shocked by that? He wasn't very good, but I enjoyed using him. Here's Tayshaun Prince. He was in 2K17. You know, he had a little sapphire card, and it came Chauncey Billups, Steve Francis, Nick Anderson. Bill Bradley. All right, let me see this. Let me see this guy right here. I don't know anything about Bill Bradley. You know what? I would use him. I know Tim would use him for sure. Chris Kaman, Doc Rivers, like, you can kind of get the general idea. There's a lot of variety here, a lot of different historic cards. Reggie Lewis, Lance Stevenson. Lance Stevenson would be another card that I would really like to see in the game. In addition to like Oscar Schmidt, if you guys know anything about Oscar Schmidt, I mean, he's an international guy. I don't think he'd ever made it to the NBA. But so it'd be tough for 2K to get the license, but I'd really like to see that card out. I don't know. That's just me. Andres Biedrins would be another one I'd be really stoked to see. Jason Capono. Just a bunch of guys who 2K would make overpowered. Look, if you see like a middling white guy in a 2K game, chances are 2K is going to make them into an overpowered monster at some point. It just, really remains to be seen when they're going to do that. But guys like Jamal Wilkes, I love the historical cards. Like, I'll be the first to say it. I was so upset when they got rid of the historical cards, just because they're fun. You can fill your collection up with these historical cards. There's usually not too many lock-ins associated with them. They're just kind of like random cards that you get. And I was a big fan of them. I mean, they provide me with a bunch of different guys. And the other thing they do is they provide you with a bunch of cards to try out. So 2K can kind of beta test and see, like, okay, this dude, like, let's say Flynn Robinson, right? Flynn Robinson gets put into the game. 2K tries out a jump shot on Flynn Robinson, gives him whatever. I don't think they actually show you the jump shots back on MTDB. Back as early as 2K17, they didn't show jumpers. You just knew that this card had a good jumper, and it was like another jumper, you know what I mean? But, I mean, let's say they decide to put, like, a base on him. Like, let's just say, like, they put base 3 on Flynn Robinson before they put it on any of the packable cards. They stick with, like, the cards that they know, or the jump shots that they know do well on the packable cards, and they'll give, like, a Flynn Robinson, like, a tester jump shot, like a base 3. Well, if people start using Flynn Robinson and they like this card, A, he'll probably get another card at some point this year. B, maybe they'll use these base set or historic players to do like some sort of spotlight sim thing later on in the year where you submit your performances and you get updated cards. And then C, they're going to take that jump shot into account, and they're going to probably put it on a bunch of different players, especially at that position. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of stuff that has to do with this. OJ Mayo. Let's go. Eddie Johnson. Pretty much all the Spotlight Sim guys are in here. I miss the historic cards, and I'm so happy that they're somewhat bringing them back. Al Jefferson. Pretty sure I used this card for a little bit, too, at the beginning of the year. He was just big. Johnny Newman. I don't know who that is. Marcus Thornton. Yeah, Ron Artest has, like, multiple cards in 2K17, so I'm really hoping we see him get them back. That would be ideal. Brandon Jennings, obviously. I would like to see Brandon Jennings hop up in the mix at some point. That would be ideal situation for me. There's a bunch of names. Michael Beasley, like Nick Young. We didn't see Swaggy P last year, and that Sapphire Swaggy P in 2K20 was one of the best Sapphires in the game, so I'm hoping we possibly see him come back. I don't know who Rick Roberson is. They didn't even give him a real picture. David Lee wasn't in the game last year. He's never really that great, but someone to think about. Hershey Hawkins, Nate McMillan, Alton Lister. Like, look at all of these random guys. It would just be really Randy Foy. Like, does anybody want a Keith Erickson or a Randy Foy card? No, but I'll take them. Rod Higgins. See, there's so many good cards. I feel like 2K really did a bad job this year in 2K21 in regards to spicing up the content. I mean, we didn't get updated versions of any of these cards, right? Any of them. But we got like 17 LeBrons. It's just, I don't know, and like 15 Shaqs. Like, it's just stupid. I would have took a Dark Matter Omar Ashik over another Shaq. That's just how I feel about it. But hey, let me know what cards you hope to see in 2K22 down in the comments below. And as always, I appreciate you guys watching the video, and I will page unresponsive, huh? Okay. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.